Welcome back to my channel where we dive into the ups and downs of parenting. Today, we are tackling a topic that every parent faces at some point: lying. Yes, those little lies from our kids that can leave us wondering, why did they do that? But don't worry, we've got you covered with age appropriate ways to handle this, no matter if your child is a toddler or an older kid. So let's dive in. First up, let's talk about those tiny toddlers. At this age, when your little one tells a fib like, I didn't eat the pastry, they are not trying to deceive you with bad intentions. Toddlers are just trying to avoid getting in trouble or disappointing you. But this is also the time when we want to start encouraging truthfulness gently. So, when you catch them in a lie, don't overreact. Be calm and playful. You could say something like, that's funny because your fingers smell like cake and I can see some crumbs on the floor. Stating the facts gently helps avoid a power struggle and gives them a chance to come clean without fear. Follow up with something reassuring like, please let mommy know when you have a treat so I can make sure your tummy doesn't hurt. This helps the toddler understand that the truth is safe and they won't get into trouble. As we move into the preschool years, children start developing a better understanding of right and wrong. But they are also testing boundaries. It's common for them to tell bigger lies, especially when they think they'll avoid trouble. In this stage, it's all about being the emotional compass. Stay calm, but be firm. You could say something like, it sounds like you're not telling the truth, okay? Now let's talk about what's happened. Here, you are gently introducing the idea of honesty without making them feel scared. If they come clean, praise their honesty and move on. But if they stick to the lie, you can shift the focus and explain what a lie is and why telling the truth is so important. Stories and books about truth telling are also great tools for this age to reinforce the lesson. Now, by the time kids hit elementary school, they've got more experience under their belt. They may lie more often and even get better at keeping their stories straight. But don't worry, this is a perfect age to turn these moments into learning opportunities. Let me give you an example. Say your child tells you there is no homework for the week, but later you find out they missed assignments. Now, instead of jumping straight to punishment and ask why they felt the need to lie, maybe they're struggling with the subject and need extra help. Understanding the why behind the lie is the key. And here is a great tip. Use a truth check. How? Give your child a moment to reflect and come back later. Say, I'll be back in a few minutes to ask again. No punishment, just a chance to be truthful. Most tweens are well onto their way to establishing a hardworking and trustworthy identity. But they are also becoming good at maintaining lies and more sensitive to the repercussions of their actions. And they may have strong feelings of guilt after lying. Start a conversation with, you know how you always telling your parents the truth is very important, right? Well, there are also times when it's important to be polite and not hurt another's feelings. We need to teach our children that too. For example, if you're visiting friends and they serve a lunch you don't like, it's not polite to make a big scene and refuse to eat. You should eat the food. Eat little if you don't like it and say thank you. You're being a thoughtful guest who will get invited over again the next time. It's going to get harder before it gets easier. But there is a silver lining. Children who have an established relationship with their parents, where they feel comfortable talking and disclosing information, are more likely to tell the truth. Now let's talk about age-appropriate consequences for lying. That's important too, isn't it? You may be wondering if you should punish your child for lying. The answer is no, not exactly. While there should be age-appropriate consequences for lying, it might be best to consider them as opportunities to teach your children about the importance of honesty as opposed to relying on punishment, which can cause feelings of humiliation. The problem with punishment is that it doesn't teach a child a lesson in how to correct and avoid a specific behavior. Instead, punishment uses power to teach a child fear. Studies have shown that punishing children through force and shame can have profound negative psychological consequences. Try using natural or logical consequences to help your child learn a lesson about lying. In the other words, if your child lies and gets caught, use that moment to dole out a consequence that fits the crime. Let me give an example again. If your child lies and says they clean their room when they really just shoved everything under their bed, a logical consequence would be to pull everything out and ask them to start over and put their things away where they go. Afterwards, reinforce the lesson by talking with your child about why lying isn't so great. By showing your child compassion, patience, and a willingness to listen and communicate with them, they are far less likely to take up the habit of lying. Remember, lying is a normal part of childhood, and how we as parents handle it makes all the difference. So stay calm, focus on understanding, and always keep those lines of communication open. Before you go, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more parenting tips and leave a comment below if you have any questions or topics you might want me to cover. Thanks for watching, and remember, honesty starts at home.